Hi, BookTube. This is Johnny, sitting in my study, just sitting here, putting my diary away for the day. It is May the 3rd, 2018. It is 3:06 in the afternoon on a Wednesday. I am at a loss. It's around this time of day that I don't know what to do with myself. I'm not really in the mood to read anymore. I was messing with the computer, looking at BookTube and watching the birds. I put my diary away. I read today Protestants, the Faith That Made the Modern World. I read that this morning. And what else did I read? Interpreting Scripture with the Great Tradition. I don't know. I was thinking about reading some of my secular books this afternoon, but I don't know. Like I said last night, I'm kind of tired of reading. I read some of this morning, the Church's Bible on John. I read some of that. So I thought, hey, I'll come here to my main study, look at my cameras, look at the birds. I've been taking, we have had, around the 1st of May every year, we have rose-breasted grosbeaks, which are very pretty birds. I've been taking a lot of photos of those last couple of days. We had, for a couple of weeks, we had a fox sparrow, which I've never seen, visit our bird feeder. Carol's off the next 4 nights. She left this afternoon to have coffee with a girlfriend. And yeah, so the day goes by. Nothing came in the mail. Oh, I did get a CD in the mail. Some ambient kind of ambient kind of music. And I did order the new Nico Case CD this morning from Amazon. So yeah, it's like when I make videos, I was thinking, what is your philosophy? What is your objective when I make BookTube videos? And I'm not here to make a performance. I've always had this kind of obsession to be as real as possible in all my flaws. And one thing about making videos for BookTube, I've really seen my flaws. I've really seen how just messed up they are. And maybe that's why I never went into the gospel ministry, because if you're going to be a gospel minister in a church, you got to come off professional. You got to come off having all your shit together. You got to have a great speaking voice. You got to be able to talk clearly, pronunciate words. You've got to set forth a certain kind of authoritative presence. You've got to sound like you know what you're talking about. You've got to sound dogmatic, and you've got to be authoritative, and you got to just stand up and project this image of being a really together person. And I've always been the opposite. Now I realized a number of years ago that I was always trying to deny my flaws or my brokenness, or I felt guilty that because I wasn't perfect, because I felt insecure or anxious or depressed, or I didn't really, I was around people who really found certain things meaningful or fun, and I personally didn't, and I always felt kind of guilty. Well, because I don't find going to bars fun. I don't find going to the amusement parks fun. I don't find going to a local zoo fun. I don't find the world a fun house. I don't really enjoy being in this ungodly world. And when I would say that to people, even people who were professing Christians, I would always get a negative response or a hostile response. And I didn't realize that for years. I always kind of thought, why were Christians kind of angry at me, or why were Christians upset at me? Because even though they were Christians, they still had secular values. They still found the world to be a fun house. They still pursued after the things of this world. Money, clothes, a good time, vacations, nice cars, nice clothes, expensive houses. And those things were never important to me. And I'd say that, well, money is not important. What's really important is the riches of Christ. And what is important is not an expensive house, but seeking the kingdom of God. Or, what's really important is the inward man. Our outward man is not important. And all these kinds of things, which to me were biblical truths. And yet I would get these really hostile reactions. And I used to think well, what did I say? What did I do wrong? What's wrong with me? And then I felt guilty. Well, then I realized several years ago, people were just, even though I assumed that they were Christians, that they held to Christian values, a Christian view of the world, a Christian view of material things. But in reality, they were just like everybody else, pagans, ungodly people. And so when I come to make videos, it's the same thing. Do I want to be a crowd pleaser? Do I want to say things that would make people who are not Christians like me or accept me? Are my videos professional? Do I have the right lighting? Do I have books behind me? Do I have a nice haircut? Do I have a nice a shirt on? Or am I coming off like I really got all my crap together? Well, see, that's not me. And I really don't have any desire or ambition or drive to make myself something that I'm not. I mean, I'm a mess. But yet I'm a Christian, and I seek to live my Christian life in a way that maybe some Christians would say, you really got it all wrong. And I know that that's just the way it is in the world. It's like there's all kinds of birds. There's all kinds of different people in the world, all different kinds of metaphysics and conceptions of reality and ideas of what history is and what its goal and meaning is, and what the purpose of life is. And my purpose is just to get through one day to the next. And by God's grace, I'm going to be 66 years old. I don't have to work anymore. Our kids are all grown and married and having kids. They're all doing well and successful. My wife is happy. She has a good job. She has lots of friends. She seems to be happy, and life is meaningful. She enjoys life. And so with me, it's not really important if I'm happy or not happy. What's important to me is kind of like the last. I'm always thinking that I have a really good life. I mean, I'm blessed, and it kind of scares me sometimes because I have it so good, and there's so much misery and suffering and death in this world, and yet I have plenty of food. I have shelter. I've got a loving family. I got a car, I got money, I got books. I can sit down here in my study and I can talk into this camera, and there's no bombs dropping, there's no snipers, there's no rats crawling around, there's no I can go right. I can get in my old van right now. I can drive to a thrift store and buy books, or go to a grocery store and buy junk food, or I can go and put on some music. I can flush the toilet. I got toilet paper. I got clean water. I can take a hot shower. I got a washing machine. I got a house that's almost paid for. I mean, what else could I have all these material blessings. And so I think, wow, I'm really thankful. But I think, but that's not all that's really important. What's really important is spiritual things. And, how is my life different from the world around me? How does my day-to-day life different? When I wake up in the morning, I make oatmeal, I read the Bible, I read my Christian books, and I read secular books in the afternoons, and I go to bed. I'm not really into movies or TV or pop culture. I'm not into Marvel comics. I'm not into Star Trek. I'm not into fantasy. I'm not into any of those things. I'm just into getting from one to the next by the grace of God and keeping my eyes on Jesus. But I make videos, and even though I find videos kind of unsettling because it shows me, when I watch them, I'm not pretty. I'm ugly. I should go get a haircut, get my beard trimmed, wear a decent shirt, put on some clean socks, and let my light shine in this world that's going to the dogs. So that's what I wanted to talk about, because I was watching BookTube and I see all these really great videos and dynamic people, dynamic speakers, and they can pronunciate, and they're highly intelligent, and they give incisive reviews, and it just blows me away. And here I am, just an old guy, just talking into a camera, sharing my love for literature, sharing my love for God, and trying by the grace of God just to get from one day to the next. So I just want to share these thoughts with you this afternoon. And until next time, bye.